Listen, if you only make minimum payments on your credit card debt, I really need you to hear this. You could be in debt for years, paying almost as much in interest as the money you borrowed in the first place. And the banks, yeah, they designed it that way, on purpose.
So today, we're going to break out of that trap. I'm going to show you exactly how you can pay off $20,000 of debt in just 12 months, even if you don't feel like you make a lot of money. I know someone watching this right now is just stressed about debt. Maybe you opened your last statement and your stomach just dropped. Or you make that payment every month and watch the balance barely even budge. Well, I want to tell you something really important. Having debt is not a character flaw. The whole system is literally designed to keep you in debt. Once you really get that, you can stop blaming yourself and you can start fighting back.
So let's start by looking at the enemy we're actually fighting. We're going to pull back the curtain on what those minimum payments are really costing you. Because honestly, most people have absolutely no idea.
Okay, let's start with an average number. Right now in America, the typical credit card balance is just over $6,500. Now that might not sound like a crazy, insurmountable number, but, well, compounding interest turns it into a massive trap.
And this is where it gets wild. Look at what happens if you only make the minimum payments on that average balance. You end up paying nearly the exact same amount in interest, almost $6,500, as the money you borrowed to begin with. You essentially pay for everything twice.
And how long does this take? 170 months. That's over 14 years. Think about that. 14 years of your life sending your hard-earned cash to a bank every single month. Okay, now let's zoom out, because that individual trap, when you multiply it by millions of people, has led to a total U.S. credit card balance of over $1.2 trillion. Yeah, that's trillion with a T. It's the highest it has ever been. So this isn't just your problem, it's a huge systemic issue. You know, numbers on a screen are one thing. They're kind of easy to ignore. So let's talk about a real person. Her name is Lana. She's 29, and she found herself with $40,000 in debt spread across 6 different credit cards. And she wasn't being reckless. She got laid off, she still had a mortgage, an emergency vet bill, and just the rising cost of groceries and gas. Life hit her, you know? Just like it hits so many of us. And that brings us to our very first actionable step. Now, it sounds simple, but it's the one most people skip because, frankly, it's terrifying. You have to face the number. You absolutely cannot fight an enemy that you refuse to even look at. So here's what you're going to do. And seriously, pause this if you need to. Get out a piece of paper, open a spreadsheet, whatever works. I want you to make a debt inventory. You're going to list every single debt, the name of it, the total balance, that interest rate or APR, and the minimum monthly payment. Get it all down in one place. I know that looking at that total number feels overwhelming, but check this out. There's a story about a woman who paid off 45 grand, and she admitted that she avoided looking at her total debt for almost 2 years. When she finally did, she thought, there is no way I can ever pay this off. And then she did, in just 22 months. And it all started the moment she finally looked at the number. Okay, so once you have your list, it is time for step 2, choosing your weapon. There are 2 main, really powerful methods for attacking debt, and we're going to figure out which one is the right fit for your personality.
So here are the 2 big ones. On the left, you've got the debt snowball. With this, you list your debts from the smallest balance to the largest, and you throw all your extra money at the smallest one first. This gives you these really quick psychological wins that keep you motivated. On the right, you've got the debt avalanche. Here, you list your debts by the highest interest rate, and you attack that one first. This method is the one that's mathematically best, and it'll save you the most money in interest over time.
So, which one is actually better? Well, the answer is right here. The best plan is simply the one you will actually stick with. If getting those quick wins and seeing a balance disappear is what motivates you, choose the snowball. If knowing you're saving the most money possible gets you fired up, choose the avalanche. What matters here is consistency, way more than mathematical perfection.
All right, now for the part where most people get stuck, finding the money. You're probably thinking, okay, that's great, but I don't have any extra money to throw at my debt. Well, let's challenge that idea. We're going to find it.
Believe it or not, your money is probably hiding in plain sight. The average American spends about $273 a month on subscriptions, a lot of which they totally forgot about. Another $250 a month eating out. The average tax refund is $3,000, and pretty much everyone has stuff lying around. Clothes, electronics, they could sell. This is where your extra debt payments are just waiting to be found. So, here is your action plan, your checklist. Go through your bank statements and cancel every subscription you don't actually use.
Challenge yourself to cut your restaurant and takeout spending in half for the next year. And decide right now that when your tax refund hits your account, it is going straight to your debt. And finally, spend a weekend decluttering and selling things you don't need anymore. This stuff alone could free up hundreds of dollars a month.
Now, here's a pro-level tip, the balance transfer. This can be an incredibly powerful tool. What you do is move your high-interest debt over to a new credit card that's offering a 0% introductory interest rate, usually for about a year or more. What this does is it pauses the interest clock. For that whole period, every single dollar you pay goes to knocking down your actual debt, not just feeding the bank's interest machine. It completely stops the bleeding. Okay, so let's put all of these pieces together. Let's look at the concrete plan and actually make the math make sense for wiping out $20,000 in just 12 months. Let's just walk through the numbers. Let's say your take-home pay each month is around $4,500. Your essential bills, rent, utilities, groceries come to $2,800. Then, using that checklist, you find an extra $500 a month. That leaves you with $2,283 every single month to throw at your debt. You do that for 12 months, add in your $3,000 tax refund, and you've paid over $30,000 toward your debt in 1 year. That is more than enough to wipe out that $20,000 goal. It's aggressive for sure, but the math absolutely works.
So, when it comes down to it, this is the real choice you have in front of you. Is it going to be easy? No. But what would you rather have? 12 months of focused, intense sacrifice to be totally free? Or 14 years of being chained to minimum payments? When you frame it like that, the choice becomes pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Now, before you go all in, just 2 quick but really crucial points. First, automate all your minimum payments so you never miss one. A single late fee can totally derail your progress. And second, make sure you have a small emergency fund built up first, at least 3 months of your essential expenses. This is your safety net, so one unexpected car repair doesn't send you right back into debt. I just want to leave you with this final thought. The banks make billions and billions of dollars from our interest payments. So think of it this way. Every single dollar of debt you pay off is a dollar you are taking back. It's not just a financial transaction. It is a personal victory. You are reclaiming your money, reclaiming your future, and reclaiming your peace of mind. The plan works, but it only works if you start.